Good afternoon. Today we're going to get into the personnel that would be ideal for the Warp Drive offense, the West Coast Air Raid Power offense. Okay, now it's rooted in a lot of West Coast concepts in terms of the quarterback not having to move his head just a ton in terms of surveying the field and reads. He does not have to have a big arm, although don't get it twisted. Having a big arm helps. That always helps a quarterback. It's also a unique offense in that it's West Coast Air Raid, which is a very kind of a high level passing game, taking the short passing game of the West Coast offense and the combo routes of air raid and kind of running guys off of guys and stuff, which those are also West Coast concepts as well. And the power comes in the run game, which is kind of brings about a question of, well, how is it that you're going to be able to have a power run game with kind of a pass-based offense? And it's a good question indeed, because a lot of times you think of, when you want to have a power run game, you need bigger guys, you need, kind of earth movers up front and that, you need a real blocking tight end and so forth, in order to best affect the outcome you're looking for in that. Now, where the personnel comes in and the way that the offense is designed, it's designed for a team with average to below average personnel in terms of size and speed, particularly at the receiver position. And of course, the receivers there's a tremendous amount of emphasis on the receivers because what the offense purports to do in its best form, run properly, is to get guys open. This is the number one benefit of running this offense. You're going to get guys open. Guys are going to get open. Might not be wide ass open, but they'll be open, pro open, as they say, which, is about this much. And you can fit a football in there. So, accuracy is the key. But when you're dealing with personnel to whereas you can't always go out and acquire some, you have to develop what you have, i.e. in a, organized or school type setting, you kind of get the cards that you're dealt in terms of it. So when we talk about personnel, we really need an accurate quarterback. And again, this is not a given, but this is really what you're looking at. You can live with, less athleticism and less size and less arm strength. We just need the QB to be accurate. Okay. In the more detailed sense, as it relates to receivers, because in the Warp Drive offense, receivers play a role in terms of blocking big time. There are situations that are set up by the running of the rub combos, running guys off of guys that lend themselves to second level blocking, just magnificently. Case in point, the most popular combo in football that you see run, and I've seen it run in pretty much every Super Bowl, even the recent ones, is slants over fades. Okay. My system, we call it Frisco. SF, San Francisco, slants over fades. Okay. Now there's some tweaks to it because, listen, defenses have seen it. And the standard operating procedure in it is to bail off and zone it. Slot guy gets the outside guy waits on the slot guy to come. Okay. It gives them the best chance to not get beat deep, to hopefully disrupt the slant by jumping it, and just make the read that much more difficult, and for the quarterback. Now, when you run a delay off of it, or a delay toss off of it, and those defenders bail high, they set themselves up in a perfect position to be blocked. They're backing off, they're bailing. You sell a combo, and then boom, you get right into the defender and block his ass. Now, this helps at second level. At first, you got to get a second level. Okay? I certainly understand that. So when we talk about personnel, it's in receivers, you always want speed. You love size. Got to be able to catch the ball. What you really need in this offense is you can live with a bigger receiver who lacks that high-end speed in this offense and do quite well with it. And again, this helps your blocking, i.e., the power aspect of the run game. Having a little bit bigger receivers, okay? Again, it's they don't have to be huge, but them being a little bit bigger, a little bit stronger, put together a little bit better than your normal guys can help. The system works with quick and fast receivers as well, just like it works with a big arm quarterback as well. But what's more important is route running, location, and precision in terms of the receivers. We've got to be able to run these routes well. That's the main thing. And it also relates to when you use the combos, such as slants over fades, to, in a delay to accentuate the run game and to get that, those springing a running back at second level, man, this turns, good runs into big runs. And so that's kind of the upside of it there. Your guys, okay, it does help them to be put together a little bit, better than the average receiver. This helps because we ask them to go inside quite a bit. That's where the meat is, man. It's not easy, and guys don't like doing it, but it's easier than it used to be in today's game. But in doing so, we really isolate those inside guys and keep them frozen, okay, in an effort to set up the outside guys, if you will, by threatening the middle of the field every single pass play. So the guys to do that, they need to be put together pretty good, or at least be fearless, but they have to run really precise routes. Everything has to be precise in order for this offense to work. We deal in numbers and time and distance, okay? That's what we deal with. And if we could stay, true to the prescribed principles of it, the time, the steps, the numbers, the distance, down to the, half yard, this is where the offense really becomes effective. So personnel-wise, you need guys that run good routes, guys that will go over the middle, that will come to the inside of the field readily. Now, you don't have to repeatedly send the same guys to the middle of the field because, that obviously works against it. Everybody needs to be able to come to the middle of the field. So having guys that are, are maybe a step slower, but put together good and have the willingness and the ability to go inside, okay, and to run very precise routes. This is really what you need. And that's easier to get, than a, 6'4", 4'3" guy, okay? Just a good-sized dude that's fearless and runs good routes. You can find those guys, and you can help them certainly with the route running aspect of it, and being precise in training steps, making sure that we stem routes and we know how to stem routes. We know how to get off of a jam in combination with stemming a route. Okay, with stemming a route is you make a move, okay, because the precise position of the initial part of the route is taken away by the defender's position. You make a move, but you get back into where the route is supposed to end up, and you are at that spot at the appointed time. That's stemming a route. You run a post, you don't get a clean release, you come up inside, hug the inside, okay? Or I'm sorry, hugging the outside, and then you make your break for the angle towards the post in such a way that if you were here, but you're here, now you're here with this in terms of the path we want to be at the same spot. Okay, if we're doing it from here, we're here. If we're doing it from here, it's here. So we want to be at the same spot. That's the main thing. So, these are things that you could teach a receiver and show them in terms of how to run the route. Stemming routes and the timing and everything is critical. You just kind of have to do it. You got to have that flex to be able to do it. And so, again, big receivers are a plus in the warp drive offense. We need your tight end to be a versatile guy, but that's for any offense. Tight ends are hard to find. It's a unique position with a lot of different skill sets required, but you can get by with a smaller tight end in that offense. You certainly can. If he's not 6'4", 6'5", 250, you can play with a guy 6'2", 225, 230 at that spot. Okay. Because again, with the tight end, there are varied duties in terms of, he needs to be able to block, and if he has to finesse block, that's fine. There's no problem with that. But we'd like him to be able to get into his route a little quicker than most. So, him being small is not a problem. Okay, but you got to have that athleticism. Okay, your running backs. Again, this is a difficult position personnel-wise to put a criteria on. The running backs come in all shapes and sizes. You got Jerome Bettis, you got Emmitt Smith, you got James Brown, you got Eric Dickerson, you got LaDainian Tomlinson. There's really no prototype there. What you need in this system is a guy that can catch and a guy that will hit the hole. Whatever shape, size you find him in. Needs to be able to catch, needs to be able to hit the hole. And also, we talk about hitting the hole, and we don't have a numbered, a whole numbering system for the run game. It's either zone or load. Okay, zone being outside, load, being inside. So we give the ownership of the run play to the running back. We let him pick the hole, but we know that it's starting outside or it's starting inside. Okay, we know this. All right, we know this because that's the terminology. And so that sets up the quarterback giving the ball to the running back. So in running back, you're looking for a guy that can catch, that will pass block, and that really gets upfield as quick as you possibly can as a rule, as opposed to bouncing it outside. This is the power aspect of it. Now, your offensive lineman. We really need, in an optimal scenario, we'd like a little bit bigger guys to get the push, to keep the down in, down out thing going, and to run inside. Okay. If your personnel grouping is such that it's a little different, if they are more quick than big, then the very basic tenet of offensive football, knowing the snap count while the defense doesn't, comes into play. And this is critical, with whomever your personnel is and really whatever offense you run. This is the first advantage that we have as an offense, is that we know the snap count, the defense doesn't. So if we get our cadence righteous through repeated work to be able to anticipate it, it makes a huge difference. I mean, you really need to look no further than to the NFL when they have guys mic'd up, and you hear them, run a play and you hear the cadence and the snap count, and you're close to it in terms of a ground level view and a real time view, full speed, right? You see these guys, 385, set up, and it's coming out. It's, but whereas the lower levels is set, hot, it's slowed down a great deal. And this is really just one of the major differences, and the major difference in terms of why the game at the highest level in the NFL is faster. It's not just speed, believe me. These guys know what they're doing, and then they've worked repeatedly, QB1 getting most of the snaps. They've got that cadence down, right? So if you're a little smaller up front, then, hey, man, we need to get out and get in the guys. Get out and get in them. You want to teach your offensive linemen, if they are a little bit smaller, the concept of moving a man and blocking a percentage of him, as, opposed to straight up smash mouth head on blocking. Now, guys can line up directly over your guys and put them in that position in terms of, this is mano a mano, we're going head up, bob, body on body. You can still finesse it in such a way to whereas you achieve the desired goal. The desired goal is my 100% if I'm, say, like I was back in the day, a 205-pound guy playing tight end, okay, with a linebacker that's 245, okay. I'm gonna turn and get my full 100% on about 70% of them to the side that I need protected or opened up. We're running an outside play. I've swung out and got on this man and really am pushing and blocking 70% of him, okay, which is about 200 pounds if he's 240, with my whole 100%, again, 205, that's going to give me the best advantage. So knowing the snap count is critical in that. Really, this offense is designed to work with any personnel. And obviously, we can say for any offense, yeah, man, give me big, fast guys. That's going to work, but what you need in this offense when you're kind of in the real world and not everybody is big and fast in terms of the personnel that you have is you got to have focus, courage, and discipline. That's the main thing. We got to run inside routes. We got to run the football inside. We got to be able to be deliberate. We also got to be able to have tempo. Again, like any coach, any scheme, offensively or defensively, we really, in our heart of hearts, want to be all things to all people. We want to have everything covered. Now, I do believe that the warp drive offense does have everything covered. I believe that much in it. I think that it works even better at the higher levels because of the talent pool that you're given at that point. And I believe it would work best at the NFL level because of your ability to acquire talent and just these guys knowing what they're doing. But you can run this offense, maybe not deep into its playbook, but at any level. You can run this offense. This is an offense that you can run at any level, okay? And there's enough there, even if you don't dig deep into the playbook, to make it successful, to get the chain moving that you want, to open up the big plays that you hope to get, to be deliberate, to also be able to work with tempo for your, 2-minute drill, and then to be deliberate for your 4-minute drill, And so much of it is the determined axioms, theorems, tenets of the offense and working the clock. The personnel is always important, but if you stick to the tenets of the offense, okay, in terms of dictating tempo and controlling it offensively, all right, you'll be fine regardless of personnel. It's just a fact. Because there is there is a component of this offense that is very conservative. And it's a big one. And, you don't see it because we're all looking for flash and bells and lights and all that kind of shit. You know what I mean? That's what we're looking for. And so, and some of the highlights when you would see a receiver come wide ass open, that's what you're going to look for. That's what you're going to remember because it's exciting, or a big run. But we do have the nuts and bolts, meat and potatoes, if you will, plays that are going to encompass a massive part of a football game. And so we got to make sure that we execute those and that we stay with it in terms of our discipline, particularly the run game. I've spoken about this before. You don't have to average 5 yards a carry to do play action. You don't have to be super successful in the run game to be successful in play action. You need to have a commitment to it. Even if you're getting 3 yards a carry, maybe even less, you still got to run it. You got to run it. Got to show them its possibility. Well, if it's not working, then how will the play action work? Because you'll still get that same jump, false step, bite inside when you go to run the ball. Okay? These defenders, man, and I've played some defense before coming up. When we're stopping the run and you're going to it again, we can't wait to get in there and bust that ass again. We can't wait. Oh, here y'all go. Oh, okay, cool. I'm going to bust your ass again. So knowing this, okay, even if the backers say, well, I don't have to worry. It's not getting past the front line, as opposed to bailing on a straight pass, they'll freeze a little bit, stay off and wait, which is just as effective as a step inside. If they don't step inside, if they wait, front four's got it. You still get the same action that you want to open up that intermediate shit, man. You got to get those guys to freeze. Now, again, we all know that now true linebackers, okay, are, there's usually only a couple of them on the field, but the positioning is the same. Even if this is now what used to be a 245-pound outside linebacker, this is now, a DB in the slot, much smaller but much faster. We know that the positioning is the same in terms of where they are on the field, usually spread out at somewhat equidistant from one another, or lined up in a head-up position for, when the offense runs, 3 left, okay, trips left, or they go quads in a crazy setup, that's what you're going to see. So, and knowing that, okay, and in knowing that you can effectively determine where the defense lines up by what formation you come out in, okay, gives you another great advantage. And so we really need just studious guys that will execute. Size and speed are not as great of an emphasis in this offense as precise, man. You got to be disciplined. And yes, in some ways, stringing together a 10-play drive is, not a given, and can't be full of potholes. That's why the defense makes you do it. At some point, you're going to make a mistake. At some point, they're going to make a play. That's how they look at it. That's why they back way off. Okay, so, and you're going to get a lot of that because this is a short passing game. Even though we're going to send guys deep, we're going to threaten the middle of the field. It's predominantly a short to intermediate passing game. It's the short passing game, setting up the intermediate passing game and play action and so forth, setting up the run game, which we have to have a commitment to. So, in terms of personnel, you need tough, smart guys. That's the physical attributes are, obviously we want big and fast. But if they're not, they damn sure better be smart and tough, because we're going to ask them to do some grimy things in terms of getting the power aspect as well as the West Coast aspect of the passing game and the power aspect of the run game to get that accomplished. We're going to need that, man. We're going to need tough guys that are fearless and that are disciplined and they're going to do what is necessary. Okay, so really, in terms of personnel, you would love to tend it towards big, have it tending towards big, but it doesn't have to be that way. But you do need discipline, smarts, and toughness. As a coach, you can pick the smart guys and the guys that are tough. The discipline is on you. It's on you to get these guys to know where they need to go and to get them to be where they're supposed to be in the prescribed time frame. Thanks for listening. This is the personnel program of the Warp Drive offense, which again is a very, very deep and involved offense. So if you want to run it, reach out to me. I am helping people learn the offense free of charge. It's a great offense. And I feel like my coaching career is over. I'm transitioning to other things now. I don't want to die with me. So you can shoot me an email, jckimmy@yahoo.com, JCKIM as in Mary, EY, @yahoo.com. And I'll work with you free of charge to show you how to install the offense and teach you about it. Or you can go to my Facebook page, JC Kimmy, KIMEY, and message me. I'll help anybody that wants to learn this offense. Anybody. It's my way of paying it forward. Again, thanks for listening. Have a fantastic day and happy hunting.